Hello friends, in this series of C programming, we are discussing control structure in C. Till now we discussed different kind of control structure like what is if else, what is do while, what is nested if else, and in previous video we discussed what is the difference between do while and while loop. Now here in this video we are going to discuss another control structure, that is the switch case in C. So here we'll also going to discuss how switch case is working, what is the syntax of switch case, and we'll also going to execute one example of switch case. So let's start. So what is switch case? Now we know that switch statement is nothing but, or in C programming we are already used if else statement. But here switch statement allows us to execute one code block among multiple or many alternatives. Now here in our statements or in our program we have the many alternatives or multiple choices. So depending on the condition we can choose one choices, that is nothing but the one alternative, like multiple choice. Now suppose we already discussed in previous video what is if else, and if else is working like if the particular condition is the true then it execute, otherwise it goes to the else part. Similarly in else part if we have the another condition it again goes to else part, that is called as a if ladder or nested if else. Now instead of nested if else you can use a switch statement which is very easier to read and write, because we know that depending on the condition you can choose your option like MCQ, and there is many alternative, you can select one choices and you can write it easily, because each value is called a case, because in switch cases we provide some multiple alternatives, that is nothing but we refer it as a cases or case, and the variable being switch in check for each switch case. Like similarly if else we can it going to matches the cases, and it's going to switch in according to the check for that particular switch case. So it is an like an working of if else only or nested if else, and you have to select if else. Switch case writing is very easy, because in control structure we can already discuss what is if else, and if else you can replace it with the switch case, because nested if else having the very lengthy coding. So instead of nested if else you can easily switch or easily replace a switch case statement, because if else you have to write the if else many number of time, that's why we have to we have to replace it with the switches or cases, and according to the condition this will going to the execute. Now let's discuss what is the syntax of switch case. Now this is the syntax of switch case. Now switch is one of the reserved word or one of the keyword. Now inside this bracket you have to write the expression. Now this expression is might be it only integer, or you can write it as a character. Now after this switch you have to give the curly bracket and you have to write the multiple cases. You can write 1 to n multiple cases, but case 1 and you have to give the semicolon here. We are going to make the colon after the cases. Now this case value 1 is the you can having the integer value or the character value, but the data type from this expression and this case label must be same. And after this case 1 you have to write the statement which will going to the execute if this case is matches, and you have to put the break statement, and after every case it will execute some statement and you have to put the break statement. Now what is the use of break? Because of this break you can the control can jumps outside this loop and it will never enter to the next statement, and at the last default statement is there with the default value or default block. So this is the syntax of switch case. Now this is the expression which evaluated only once and it compared with the value of each case label. Now user can going to enter this expression, or user can going to enter any switches or any cases, and that all the cases is going to the compare inside this loop. Next, if there is a matches, the corresponding statement after the matching label are going to execute. If the expression is matching, like if I enter the 2, then case 2 is going to execute. If I enter 1, the case 1 is going to the execute. And if there is no matches, default statement are execute. That is, if I enter the another number from these cases, then by default this default statement is going to get the execute, and after execution break is we are not going to put the break here, it will directly come outside the loop. So this is the working of switch case. So there are some conditions in switch case where the expression used in switch statements must be integral. That is, here the expression you can enter like character or integral. Second condition, constant expression for case must be same. That is, data type of the variable in the switch is the same. That is, meaning of this is, if I enter here, if my expression is the integer, then the case label, that is case 1, case 2 and etc., must be integer. I cannot write the character over here. And suppose if the expression having the data type character, then I have to write it into the character. Now to write the character, we have to apply single quote here, and inside the single quote we have to write here the character, like case A single quote, case B single quoted. So case must be same data type variable in the switch. Now the next condition is variable being switch is equal to the case. The break statement following that case will be executed until the break statement is reached. That's why we have to put the break statement, because if I enter the case 1, this case 1 is going to execute till the compiler didn't found the break. So it will execute until the break statement. So break is the compulsory for using in the switch case. Now when break statement is reached, the switch terminates, the flow of control jump to the next line flowing to the switch statement. So after breaking, the control is going to the execute the next switch statement. Now the switch statement can have the optional default case. Now what is mean by the optional? That is, you may or may not be write the default. If you write the default, if the cases is not match, the default statement is going to execute. And if default is not written there and the cases are not matched, the switch control or switch loop is going to the end. So default case is the optional. You may or you may not be right. So use of the default case is it performing tasks when none of the case is the true and no break is needed to the default cases. So this is the working of switch case. Now let's understand it with the flow chart. Now in this flow chart, this is the switch case expression. If this expression is matches to case 1, case 2, case 3 till case n, the particular cases is going to the execute. If the case 1 is matches, then the case first becomes true and it will execute all statement till I didn't get the break. After getting a break, the switch statement or loop is going to the end. Similarly, if the case 1 is the false, it will check for case 2. If it is true, it will execute till break and stop the switch statement. Otherwise, it will check for the next case or next case, or finally it will if the all the matches are not matches choices, then it will print the default statement and then it is going to stop the switch statement. So this is all about the switch case statement in the C. That is the working of switch case. In next video, we are going to discuss one switch case program, that is we have to accept two integers value and we have to perform some arithmetical operations like plus, minus, multiplication and division by using switch keys.